Chapter 10: Conservative versus non-conservative forces. Forces are divided into conservative and non-conservative forces. And conservative force is defined as the force which is independent of its path, and its path results in no loss of kinetic energy. Thus all work is conserved without loss. And conservative is derived from the Latin word conservare, which means to keep. And the power of God shall conserve all men's souls, for he keeps all men safely in his hands. For even when man was destroyed in the flood, he kept 2 of each creature that man could survive. Genesis 6:19. And God promised Jacob he would keep watch over his people. Behold, I am with you and will keep you wherever you go, and will bring you back to this land. And he commanded his people to keep to his covenant. You shall keep the commandment and the statutes and the judgments which I am commanding you today to do them. Then it shall come about, because you listen to these judgments, and keep and do them, that the Lord your God will keep you his covenant, and his loving kindness which he swore to your forefathers. Deuteronomy 7:9. And God kept his promise to those who believed. And the shepherd is the one who would keep his commands. For there is only one God who is good. But if you wish to enter into life, keep the commandments. Matthew 19:17. And the son would keep his father's promise, for as he said of the Father, you have not come to know him, but I know him. And if I say that I do not know him, I will be a liar like you. But I do know him and keep his word. John 8:55. For he commanded us to abide in his love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. John 15:10. And he perished to keep our lives eternal. He who loves his life loses it, and he who hates his life in this world will keep it to life eternal. John 12:25. And he taught us to pray and to keep watch. Mark 14:38. Keep on the alert at all times, praying that you may have strength to escape all these things that are about to take place, and to stand before the Son of Man. Luke 21:36. For his people take heed and keep watch for his return. Take heed, keep on the alert, for you do not know when the appointed time will come. Mark 13:33. And now that the time draws near, and now that Satan has been cast down to earth, God's children that have kept his commands shall make war with the ruler of the earth. Revelation 12:17. And when the appointed time comes, those who have kept his commands shall be kept from the hour of testing. Because you have kept the word of my perseverance, I also will keep you from the hour of testing, that hour which is about to come upon the whole earth, to test those who dwell on the earth. Revelation 3:10. And to those who have kept his commands and have kept the faith in his Son, they shall be spared from the torment that comes. And the smoke of their torment goes up forever and ever. They have no rest day and night, those who worship the beast in his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. Here is the perseverance of the saints who keep the commandments of God and their faith in his Jesus. Revelation 14:11. But non-conservative forces are dependent on the path that is taken, and that path results in a loss of kinetic energy. And that non-conservative force is friction, which is the force which opposes free movement. Thus the work results in a large loss of energy. And the derivative of non-conservative is the Latin word non, and conservare, which means not to keep. And God warned his people to keep his commands. If his sons forsake my law and do not walk in my judgments, if they violate my statutes and do not keep my commandments, then I will punish their transgression with their rod and their iniquity with stripes. Psalms 89 and 30. But they did not keep his commandments. Psalms 78 and 10. And they did not keep his commands. They did not keep the commandments of the Lord their God. 2 Kings 17 and 19. But the Son would come to renew God's covenant with mankind. But many would see and would hear. But they were kept blind, deaf, and dumb. You will keep on hearing, you will keep on seeing, but will not perceive, for the heart of this people has become dull. With their ears they scarcely hear, their eyes they would see, and with their eyes, and with their ears, and with their heart, and return to them. Matthew 13 and 15. And man has worshipped false idols, and man has forgotten who is God. You keep going backward, so I will stretch out my hand against you and destroy you. Jeremiah 15 and 6. I will not keep silent, but I will repay. I will even repay into their bosom both their own iniquities and the iniquities of their fathers together. Isaiah 65 and 6. For he forewarned his people, be dressed in readiness and keep your lamps lit. Luke 12 and 35. For the time shall soon come when men's work shall be judged. For conservative work is work that is done with great gain, and non-conservative force is work that is done with great loss. And the works that were done for the Lord shall be gained, but the works that were done for the earth shall be lost. If any man's work which he has built on it remains, he will receive a reward. If any man's work is burnt up, he will suffer loss. 1 Corinthians 3 and 14. But the Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in loving kindness. He will not always strive with us, nor will he keep his anger forever. Psalms 103 and 8. For as the prophecy says at the end, but he himself will be saved, yet so as through fire. 1 Corinthians 3 and 15. And when the fire of judgment is complete, the Lord shall keep his last promise. And I will give them one heart and put a new spirit within them. And I will take the heart of stone out of their flesh, and give them a heart of flesh, that they may walk in my statutes, and keep my ordinances, and do them. Then they will be my people, and I shall be their God. Ezekiel 11 and 19.